Ladies and gentlemen and friends beyond the binary, my name is Amanda Bonanza. Welcome to Medioker Poker with Amanda Bonanza and Rayna Sunshine. Hello, Rayna. Rayna, are you there?
Hello, I am here. That's
Rayna's
okay.
here,
I was just
everyone.
letting my son know that I'm live and keep the volume down, minimize the gamer rage.
Super. Cool. Well, we're here. We are playing PLO 10 Microstakes. I am down a big blind because I got in a game early. And so we got a big Delta hand. And I didn't like it, so I threw it away. So that's why we're down one big blind. But we're going to be up a whole bunch of big blinds. Today we're going to focus on playing solid, believing the bets of our opponents. We're going to assume when someone bets large, and that especially on the river, that they have the nuts or close to the nuts, and that they're not bluffing until they show us any that they're capable of bluffing, because I've seen so many players at these stakes, they just don't bluff. Now every now and then you will see someone that does bluff, but you'll be able to tell when they do, because they'll bet large more frequently. And so you'll see that's one thing, and every now and then there'll be a showdown. Like if you bluff a lot and people call you, eventually they're going to call you with a better hand and you'll see the showdown. And so you'll see that they were bluffing. So until we see that, until we see evidence of bluffing, we're going to assume that they're not, because that's how I've been punting my money away. So, all right, we're going to be in a hand, next hand here. So we can do a little hand reading for this one, see if it happens. So we get a limp here on seat 5, and that means neither of them, a limp and a check. So neither of them have good hands. Remember when someone limps, Rayna, what do we know about a player that when we see them limp? What can we immediately assume about that player?
That they don't have any good cards.
They don't have any good cards, that they don't have an overall good hand. Like they don't
Mm,
have a premium hand. They
mm.
probably don't even have a good hand. They have marginal at best, like a mismatch. Basically, any 4 random ass cards is a limp. But there's another thing. So here we are. I think I am going to bring this up because we have jacks. The 3 sucks, but it is double suited, and we have that 9 there. So we're going to go ahead and bring that up. Great. So now we're up a big blind, and that's terrific. Or we're back to 0. Now this hand looks similar to that hand, except the pair's on the wrong side. There's a gap, and we're in the small blind, and there's a raise in front of us. So we're going to let this go. So the other thing, as I was saying, what you can assume from a 5 player, or from a player that, now let me scooch this over. That's the fade that over just a little bit. The hand, yeah, the hand review. What I was gonna say is, what you can assume from a player that limps is that when they limp, they don't have much, but you can also assume conversely that when they do bring in for a raves, that they have a very good hand. And so
Right.
that's, so when they do, if they're a limper, you can feel comfortable calling a little loose or a little light in late position. This isn't good enough to call to a raise and go multi-way with nothing. That's a bad hand. We're
So
gonna get
full.
rid of it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna fold it. And so when they do bring in, then we have to assume they have premium or close to premium cards. The other thing you can assume that's not totally always accurate, but I think it's safe to assume at these stakes, is that they aren't going to, their bet size is going to directly reflect the strength of their hand. It's called telegraphing your hand strength. And so if they bet large, that means they have a good hand that they like. And if they bet small, it means they've got something, but they're not real sure about it. And so when that comes up, that when we get into that scenario, when a player that we mark as someone who probably is a little bit fishy, we're going to fold this. This is right on the edge Oh no, we're in position and there's only 3 players. We are actually gonna bet this, so we're gonna raise this because we got a pair of jacks. We don't like the third diamond, but we have it's close enough to a rundown and there's only 3 players here. And we're literally, even though we're under the gun, we're also on the button. That's a bad flop for us. However, it's an ace and we're heads up, and so we're gonna bet it. We're gonna bet the half pot and we're gonna bluff it because they either have an ace or they don't. They might call spades too. Now we hit a 10, so now we have
That's
both
good, right?
well, yes, it is. That's a good card for us because now we have a pair of 10s, not an ace, which I don't think they necessarily have. They could have an ace though. But we also have a straight draw now with the 9, 10, jack, and the 7. So an 8 brings a straight. It's not great. So we're going to check it because it's not that good. So we just have a pair of 10s, but that does have showdown value. And they're going to bet. And what do we say about players that limp that bet large? They have it. So they have at least an ace. They probably have 2 pair. They might even have a set. They could even have a straight.
So we let
Our
it go.
10's no good. We're going to fold. Our 10 is certainly no good. Six, 5, king, 8. That's pretty bad. King,
Yeah.
8, 6, 5 is the right way to read this hand, but like it's pretty bad. And we're on the big blind. We have a king high spade. We have spades to the king. And 5, 6, 8 is a rundown in a way, but this is a pretty terrible hand. We're hoping for a we're hoping. Yeah, especially this player's a limper. Oh, they're gonna fold. So they're gonna just let us free roll, so we're gonna free roll it. And we might be going heads up here. So we didn't hit anything at all. We do have straight draws and a backdoor flush draw, but we're not going to bet this because we did limp and we don't have anything. There's no reason to bluff. There's
Right.
1.9 big blinds in the pot, so we're just going to see what happens. So, I mean, 7s and 6s. We have a pair of 6s. We're going to check it down and hope we win with our 6s. We do not. They had a pair of 10s. So they probably would have called us if we'd have bet. So that's why we do that. When we got like weak showdown value, you just check it down. No need to put money in a pot because those are the kind of hands where when you do so. Yeah, I'm gonna raise that up. We're in the small blind, but it's heads up. We're not going 3-way here. They re-raised us, so but it's a light re-raise. So out of the gates, that tells me that they're probably an aggressive player. If they're gonna re-raise minimum, that's an overly aggressive player. We don't have a good enough hand to call a 3-bet, so we are gonna fold it, but we're watching them. And I'm gonna assume that this player 4 here is gonna be aggressively betting a lot.
Right.
We'll see what
So
they do.
if we were on the button, would you have stayed in?
No, I wouldn't have called a 3-bet in any position because it wasn't a 3-bet. It wasn't a good hand. I only bet it because it was heads up. And the big, so I'm gonna fold that. Oh, we now have we got a bunch of players now. So they limped. So they didn't. They weren't overly aggressive. So they definitely had something. Probably. Well, not definitely. They had something because they just limped. So they are willing to limp. Let's put limp, and we're gonna mark them with a fish. This one too, if they ever come back. Believe the bet size. Fish. That's a fine big blind hand. We're pretty much playing this. We don't like that it's rainbow, but
Yes.
if we get a free roll, we're not going to raise it. But we're not. We will call a bet from the small blind here. They don't bet. We'll just free roll. We did miss, but we have a real solid straight draw there. So a 10 brings us a straight. But we don't have anything, so we'll check it. That's no good. I mean, that was a fast check up here. I don't want to bluff out of position multi-way for no money in the pot. Yeah, we got our ace. I don't think it's going to win. That's fine.
It's nothing.
We have nothing. The board is nothing. The pot is nothing.
It's a big nothing.
Yeah, I'm going to let them have it with their bet, their half pot bet there. Good win for you. That's a position bet, and it's a position fold. It's a junk fold with nothing to show for it. They could easily have had a pair of anything on that board that would have beat us. We're in the small blind with 2 arrays from our, and so remember they limped before, and so we know they have a hand. They called the bet, so that doesn't mean much, but we're still out of position. We don't have a great hand. In fact, it's a bad hand, so we're going to let it go, and we're going to watch what they do. But we're remembering seat 4 brought in, so they're the pre-flop aggressor. That's a bad flop for their range, so they should check it out of position. And this player, it's good for their range because they're calling stuff, so they could have all the low stuff. So this is once again good for seat 6's range, bad for seat 4's range, and seat 4 is playing it accordingly. Seat 4 almost certainly has high cards of some stripe. Yep. Now it is Omaha, so people will bring in with low rundowns and medium rundowns. So you can't be sure that they've got high cards, but it's a good good assessment to make. They've got a strong hand.
So it seems like this is a pretty junky hand.
Yeah, it's a real bad hand. That's a very bad hand. Just let that go.
Just remind me on PLO, it's you use 2 cards from your cards you're initially dealt, and then
correct. So out of your 4 cards that you're dealt, you must and you may only and you must use 2. So you will use in every hand, no matter what, 2 cards from your hand, 3 from the board. Different from Texas Hold'em, where any combination of the 7 cards in play. And that's a thing that trips players that switch over a lot. So players that are new to Omaha but have played a lot of Texas Hold'em, they'll get tripped up by that. They'll think they have flushes when they don't have when they have one thing, or they'll think they have a full house when really they only have 3 of a kind. And like it's a lot of things. So this is an exceptionally bad
pair of threes
hand.
is terrible.
Yeah, 2, 3, 3, 5 is just god awful. That's just god awful in any position. So basically, like, there's solvers out there, and what you can know a little kind of like a hand folding hack is any hand with a 4 or lower, you pretty much want to get rid of. Like, and honestly, 5s aren't great either. So ace 3, 2, 10. Nope, not good enough to in the hijack, and especially with the limper going multi-way. The other thing you can assume about limpers is that they're also going to call. If someone limps, they're going to call. If they limp, it's because they don't like their hand, but they want to see a pot. So they're going to limp, and then you're going to bet, and they're going to call. So like when there's limpers in front of you, you want to bet your very strong hands. Like, and so you kind of want to do that. You kind of want to you want to tighten up when there's limpers in front of you because you're going to go multi-way. And so you want hands that have, when you go multi-way, I mean, it's always better to be in position, but you want hands that have good nut value, and that means like hands that can make the nuts. So double suited rundowns, high Broadway cards, suited high cards, suited aces. Those are the kind of high aces and kings. Those are the kind of hands that are good for that sort of thing. This is also a terrible hand.
Yes. Awful.
People will think that if you have like 3 of 1 suit like this, that it's good, but it's not, because that third spade, that third suited card, it blocks your flush. So remember, there's only 13 cards of any suit. So if you've got 3 of them, that means there's only 10 left in the deck, right? And so if there's 2 on the board and 3 in your hand, that's 5 spades gone out of 13, which is one less than it would be if you only had 2 in your hand, which reduces your odds, you know, and that's just something you have to think about.
Right. And you think you see it, you think, oh, I have it, but you don't.
Yeah. And that's how blockers work too. So this is actually a good hand, and we are going to raise it up. Well, 10s with a suit and a rundown. 7, all these hands can make a straight. All those cards can make a straight.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to raise up. We want to get a little, we want to juice this pot up, and we're going heads up with this person. We're out of position, but we're going heads up, and we hit our 10. So that's great.
Yep.
Jack Queen brings a straight. So we are going to bet this, but we're going to bet it half. Actually, we're going to bet it strong. And the reason is we have the Jack blocker. And no, that's why I'm going to bet small. I want them to call. Because we have the Jack blocker, they're not. We wanted them to call with a pair of kings or something, but they just folded right away. Anyway, the reason I did that is because they had the Jack that blocked the straight that was available. So if we want to go to the hand review, we're gonna fold this.
Yeah.
Let's sit out and let's go to a hand review here. So we're gonna bring that up.
When you say blocker, that is the having a card that then deprives everybody else of the card because there's only so many.
Yes, that is. And so we're looking at the hand review here, and so this isn't the right one here. I think we have to go to this one. We had no, it was that one. So we had Jack 10 10 7 with a spade, with 2 spades to the 10. Okay, so a pair of 10s, a Jack, and a 7. And so when the flop came, we hit a set of 10s, 3 10s. But also, if you look at the flop, which is King 10 9 rainbow, we had a backdoor flush draw with our 3 total spades, 2 spades in our hand, and then we had a straight draw with 10 Jack King, and then we also had a set of 10. So we had a very strong hand. That was a very good hand for us, but we had to bet small. And the reason now, normally when like a straight board, when a board's wet like that and dynamic, where like it can change, the nuts can change, or someone could have a strong nut hand. So if you look at 9 10 king, well, 2 cards, Jack Queen, make a straight. So, and plus anything around that is a straight draw. So that's a very wet board. Like there's a very high chance that a straight's coming with a board like this. So when we have a set, normally what we would do is we would bet large to discourage someone drawing to hit their straight. But because we blocked the Jack, our Jack reduces the odds that they have a Jack Queen in their hand or have a Jack. Then we wanted to bet small because we wanted them to call with a pair of kings or like 2 pair. So that's why we did that. I know it's like kind of long-winded and convoluted, but that's how it. That's the theory behind.
What was that thing about the back door? What does that mean? Does it mean it could come on cards that are going to be dealt in the potential in the future? You might get it. Is that
like a backdoor draw? There's 2 types of draws. There's a front door and a backdoor draw. So let's say you have 2 spades in your hand, right? If there's 2 spades on the board, that's called a front door. That's called a front door spade draw. So you have 2 in your hands, there's 2 on the board. You only need 1 more spade to hit your flush, right? And so this card here, the turn card is the front door, the river card's the back door. So like that's how that works. So like if you only need 1, then you have a front door. A back door means you need 2 spades. So if I had this is right on the edge. I'm going to fold this just because I'm talking and it's just on the edge of a good hand. It's not quite good enough. I don't like the 5-6, but I like the double suited, but we're in early position. I would have absolutely brought this in on the button. Anyway, so a backdoor draw is like you've got two hearts like we do in our hand. If a flop comes and there's one heart, see, this is a front door draw. It's a front and a nut draw. A front door nut heart draw because we have the best flush if another heart comes because the ace is out there, meaning the king is the next one, and the king also blocks the straight flush, which you can't get with an ace and a nine anyway. So if another heart were to come, we would have the nut flush. And we have two streets to get it, front door. If only one heart had came, it would have been a backdoor heart draw, meaning we would have needed two hearts to come, which is much less likely. It's still a draw. It's still equity. Do you understand?
I think I do.
I think you do. What does that mean?
It means I don't.
It means you don't. What did you not understand?
No, okay, so I think
okay, right now, looking at this hand, do I have any draws? Did I have a draw on the flop? Did I have a heart, right? I have two hearts in my hand, and there's one on the board, right?
Three, yeah. So
that's a backdoor. That's a backdoor draw because I would need heart to come. Backdoor.
Right.
But if I had clubs, I would have had a front door club draw. And so this is a great hand. Two pairs and a suited ace. Yes. And a pair of aces. Yeah, this is a monster hand. This is a 3-bet hand, a 4-bet hand, an all-in hand. So we're going to raise that up. We're going to 3-bet it to a big fat stack, and they're almost certainly going to call. People that raise usually call 3-bets. We are out of position, and they called, and we are going to go ahead and bet that because, I mean, maybe they have a set. Maybe they have two pair, but we have a pair of aces, and we block the nut diamond draw, so we're going to go ahead and bet strong. We're going to follow that up. And they're just going to give us the pot, which is exactly what we want because we don't want flushes and straights to come. And this is the bad hand. We'll fold it out in advance. And so, once again, early position raise and a call. So this player has potentially premium cards. This player has adequate cards, mid shelf. This is a 3-bet here, so they almost certainly have premium cards. And noticing their stack size and noticing that they haven't done much 3-betting, they probably have ace-ace in their hand. Ace-ace XX. That's what I would say. It's safe to conclude that they have that. Now, I mean, we would have hit a full house, and that would have been great against this giant pot, but you can't do that. So they're going all in because they have ace-ace 2-2, and they're rightfully assuming that no one. And there it is, ace-ace. And it wins. It holds up. I was going to say they were rightfully assuming that no one had a 2, but they probably weren't assuming that. I would actually be willing to bet that they were just, I have aces, I'm betting them.
I'm awesome. Yes.
Yeah. I have aces. They can't lose. Which isn't even true in Texas Hold'em, which we found out on Thursday,
right.
didn't we,
Rayna?
We got our aces cracked on Thursday.
Yeah.
We got a lot of hands cracked on Thursday. We did badly. We had a lot of bad runouts. But yeah, aces in Omaha are still very good, but they're way more vulnerable than they are in Texas Hold'em, because in Texas Hold'em, generally a pair, even a low pair can win. In Omaha, if it's very rare for anything other than the top two pair to win. And it's very frequently straights or flushes or full houses. And quads pop up a lot. So like a pair of aces is good, but it's like it's hard to win with a single pair in Omaha. Something else has to happen.
Gotcha.
Which is why so you're playing Texas Hold'em, you only get 2 cards, so 2 aces is clearly the best hand. But in In Omaha, you've got 4 cards, so you want those other 2 cards to go well with their aces. And what goes well with aces? Well, suits go great with aces, and also like high close cards or low cards. Like so, like having like one low card like a 5, and then another high card like a king, and they're both suited. That's a great hand because then you have the Broadway draw, and you also have the wheel draw. So we're going to fold that bad hand.
Oh, that terrible.
Do you know what the wheel is, Rayna?
The wheel.
Tell me what the wheel is.
I don't know what the wheel is. Can you tell me?
The wheel is a straight that is a straight to the 5. 5, 4, 3, 2 ace is the wheel. So we have a wheel draw here with our ace, 2, 3, 5, 6. If a 4 came, we would have actually a straight to the 6 because we would have 5, 4, 3, 2, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. But so ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2 ace. That is the wheel. Broadway. Tell me what Broadway is, Rayna.
Broadway, isn't that a reference to cards like the Queen?
It's the top 5 highest cards. It's ace through 10.
Top 5.
Ace, king, queen, jack 10 is Broadway.
It's Broadway. Okay.
We have a bad hand and there's a raise, so we're gonna fold it. We're not even defending that bad blind, that bad hand, even in the blind, especially multi-way with no nut value. I mean, even if we hit a 5, we're not great, and even if we hit clubs, we're not super confident. So no need to call. This is a better hand, but that two of hearts sucks. The 7 isn't great. Ace is nice. The suited ace is nice. We'll see what everyone does. I don't think I'm going to even call this to a bet in front of us. But they didn't, so I will raise it because we're just facing the big blind, so we're heads up, so I will raise it. We don't have to worry about anyone else. We don't have to worry about going multi-way, and so multi-way makes it harder to win. And way harder to bluff. So this is a good hand, and we are on the button, so we will be playing this hand, and we're going to bring it in for a pot size bet. We'll see if we get any callers. We probably will get 1, maybe 2, and that's just fine. They're thinking. They're almost certainly thinking. When they're thinking this long, if they call, they have a bad hand, and if they bet, they have a decently good hand. But they don't have like a premium hand when they think that long. That's a tell. That's an online tell. It's also a live tell. It's like when players that usually act fast all of a sudden act slow and they have to think about something, you can tell what they have in their hand a lot better.
Right, they're unsure of what to do next.
Right, they have to think. And I mean, that's why good poker players, like the pros, they always think. Like, unless they just pitch in a fold, they always think before they act. Plus, they're thinking about all the things you're supposed to be thinking about. But like, they're thinking, can I bluff? What do they have? What's their range? La la la, which you should be thinking of as a poker player, which is what I'm trying to do here. We don't have a very good hand. We're not in position. We're in the cutoff, but I don't love it. We're just gonna let that go. I don't like that dangling 3. Remember, 3 to
at first when I see it, it's not. I go ace and queen. That's good.
That's because you're thinking like cards. Texas Hold'em. You're thinking like a Texas Hold'em player. But we blocked our own flush draw, and we had a dangling 3 and a 3 low card. Remember, anything below a 5 we throw out, and this has a lot of cards below a 5. And also position matters. We were not on the button. We were in the cutoff, and so we had decent position, but the dangling 2 sucked. Like, we blocked our own flush. The 4 cards didn't go together. And I'm not interested in playing bad cards when I can just wait for good cards. Now this is a little better. It's not great because it's rainbow, but it is a rundown, meaning 4 cards that can all make a straight. And we're on the big blind, so we're just gonna call. We're going to defend that. And that's great for our range. That's great, but the hearts aren't great. So we have the 8 and the 9. So we have, and the jack, but we don't have the hearts. So this is a check raise. I'm going to check, and if they bet, we're going to raise it.
They're thinking.
And they are going to bet the pot, so I'm going to raise them. About 3x. They snap called. So that's terrible for us because they almost certainly have a 10. So we're going to check that back, and they're going to bet hard a lot. No, they're going to check that.
Oh.
Well, we don't have anything anyway. Why did they check? Because they want us to call. I smell a trap. They've got to have a 10. They have to. I'm going to check it back. They've got at least a 10. They might have 2 10s. Yeah, they've got a 10. They weren't going anywhere.
They bet so quickly. I checked it back, and it was
just
like...
that was strength. That was strength. We did not have strength. That was still the right kind of, our check raise was still correct. No, we're not going to do that. Not in the small blind. But we are down. Bummer. It's not working out the way we'd hope.
That's poker.
Number wang.
That's right. Poker. I was just thinking about how my mindset looking at this is so much affected by Texas Hold'em, because I look at the 4 cards.
We've been studying it. Yeah.
Right. I mean, and then thinking, okay, I like zoom in on, okay, fine, look at the 2 best cards, and then zoom in on that, and then figure out what you can do with the cards that are, on the getting, place fate. But that's wrong. It's
right. That is absolutely wrong. And that's the thing that a lot of these players do, and you can take advantage of that. They overvalue they overvalue pairs. So this is a good hand, because it's a pair, and because it's also a rundown, and it's also a high suited hand. So we're gonna raise. We're gonna bring this in, and we're on the button. So these are strong 9s. 9s are right on the edge of pairs that you want to play, because you can hit top set with 9s. But they have to be good 9s. And so we have a good straight draw here. And we're on the button. So I'm going to bet it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bet 2/3 pot. I'm going to bet large because the king and the 10 are good for our range. And they both checked. They showed weakness. So we're just going to take that down. That's what's called a position bet. A range bet. And a C bet, a range C bet. So now we have a pair of kings. The 7 and the 3 suck, so these aren't good kings. I would fold these kings in early position, but I'm going to play them because we're in the cutoff, so we'll see what happens. They're still kings, but because we're in the cutoff, I'll play them, but I would fold them if we were under the gun. And possibly even in the hijack. And we just get it, which is great.
Yeah, that is an acceptable outcome.
That. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great, honestly, the only time you don't like that is when you had a premium hand, like double suited aces or something where you want people to be in the pot and you want the pot to get big. But a marginal hand like that, yeah, it's a great outcome. Like any pot, any time you win a pot, large or small, it's good. And it's always, yeah, you want to be greedy. You want to get that pot raised up. So we didn't call. We checked because we're on the big blind and they limped. But now they're betting. Now we do have a draw here. We have a 7, 8, 6. It's a bad draw. There's so much out. Yeah, no, there's no money in the pot. They obviously have something if they're donking. Yeah, there's no reason to. That's a bad. I don't even know why I was even considering playing that hand.
What's the donk again? They keep.
So a donk.
Explain it to me, but
it's slang. So a donk bet is pre-flop. The person that raises is called the pre-flop aggressor. The pre-flop raiser. They're called the aggressor. They're the ones that raised and everyone else called. So they're the pre-flop aggressor. So then when the pot comes, if anyone before in a position before the pre-flop aggressor bets, when they bet on the flop after they weren't the pre-flop aggressor, that's called a donk bet. Like you're not technically supposed to do it, even though it now poker in the olden days you weren't supposed to do it, which is why it's called a donkey bet. It's like oh, this is so stupid. I think we're gonna raise this because it is double suited. We don't love the 2. We don't love the 8, but we're in position and we don't want this to go like multi-way. We want to go try and go heads up with our double suits. So we're gonna do a 3-bet here. We want people to not call, but we're gonna get 2 callers here. But we got these 2 out at least. Okay, no, we did. We did get to go heads up. That's great. And we have a backdoor flush draw, and we have a solid straight draw. So we're gonna c-bet this because we 3-bet. We're gonna c-bet small. So we're gonna go ahead and bet about a third of that, which is about, well, we'll say 12 big blinds. Is about a third of that pot. They called real fast, but we now have aces and 2s, and there is no straight. So which means they probably are. They could have something. They're betting that. So they could easily have aces and jacks, is what that means. Or they could have a set, but I don't think they have a set. I think they had a jack and they had an ace in their hand, and I think they just hit aces and jacks. So we do have 2 pair, but their 2 pairs better. We don't have our flush draw anymore. We do have a straight draw, but I think we have to fold this. I have to lay this down. I gotta lay it down. I hate it. I hate it. Yeah. When they do that, they have it. They have it. At least jack ace. No.
Yeah.
They had at least jack ace in their hand, I'm sure of it. They might have had a set. So fast when that ace came. It's like, oh yeah. They loved that ace.
They're really telegraphing.
Oh, they loved it. Yeah. They were all about that ace. All about that ace. I mean, honestly, we should make that show. We should make that shirt. Emily, if you're watching, we should make the All About That Ace shirt and sell it at the merch store. Mediocre poker, all about that ace. Is Emily? Yeah, she's there.
She's been commenting a bit.
All right, this is a bad hand. We're gonna fold it. Look at us down. Look at us being down. I hate it. Do you hate it, Rayna?
It sucks.
I hate it.
But
it sucks
it's part of the game.
It's part of it. I don't feel like we're playing badly. Yeah. Nah, we've been getting outdrawn, and we haven't been seeing great cards. We just got to be patient. So when we're kind of halved like this, where we're down to lower than 60 big blinds, we have to really tighten up our game. We have to play even fewer hands. So our hand strength has to be even better at this point to climb out of this hole.
Yeah, we're in the shallow stack.
We're in the shallow. Yep. Very good, Rayna. Yes, we are shallow stack. That is correct. We are the short stack at the table, in fact. We're the shallowest stack. Because 2 reasons we have to tighten it, because we don't want to lose all our chips. That's one. The other one is
then
when
you can't play.
Well, the other one is when you have a stack that's this short, you're going to want to get basically any hand you're playing with the intent of going all in. So the other thing, though, is when people, like, for example, when you've got 58.5 big blinds and someone else has 215 big blinds, well, they're way more likely to call your bets than they are if you have more behind you, because they can't, the max they can lose is 58.5, and if they have 215, that's a fourth of their stack. So they're always more willing. Yeah, they can bluff catch more. They can do that more because and they do. And so that's good for us, but that just means we have to bluff less and bet with value. So in order to do that, ensure that we have the most value, we have to play the best hands. So anything that's like on the edge, we got to get rid of it. We got to pitch it out, and we got to be extra tight in early position. We can still play a little loose on the button and a little in the cutoff. Probably not much in the cutoff.
But basically, we're talking about like premium hands.
Premium hands for sure. I mean, we're playing all premium hands, but like, so something like this, where it's a suited king and 3 cards to a rundown, but not very good. We could defend this if we had a stack, but if this person bets, which they do, we're not going to defend this. We're going to let them have it. We're going to wait for a better hand. We're going to let go of the 1 big blind, and we're going to wait till we have a better hand. And small blind, it's even tighter. This isn't even close to good enough, even though it's double suited and there's a pair.
But it's low value.
Yeah, low cards suck. Low pairs suck. Even when you hit them, they suck. You have a set of 3s or a set of 6s, you can never be confident because it's real easy for someone to have a set of kings or a set of aces, you know?
Yep.
Because people play kings and they play aces. This is better, and we are on the button, so we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Everyone folded to us, so we're going to bring this in. It's good enough for us to bring in here.
Yep.
And they're just going to give it to us, which is fine. That's also a very good hand. A high suited rundown is good. We're going to raise that.
They're really thinking about it.
Yeah, they were thinking about cold calling us. They didn't have to think about it. They're like, yeah, I'll see it. Boy, did we miss. We couldn't have missed more. We're going to bluff, though. So we're going to do our 12 big blinds. You know what? No, we're not going to bluff.
Yeah, is this risky? Because it's 3. We're going 3-way.
There's no point. We have nothing. And see, they're going to bet. So they have something. And they might have easily had an ace that they weren't betting because they were out of position and it's a 3-bet pot. I'm going to let this go. We just have nothing here. It's just a bummer. We also had a rundown. We had a better one. Look at that. What do you know? They had an ace with a flush draw, you know?
Yep.
Nope. All righty. I am thirsty, and it's coming up to break time. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the next big blind.
Okay.
Which I think we'll see one more hand here. Nope. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little break. We're all going to take a little break. While I'm on break, before I go, I'm going to remind you all that if you want to learn more about how to play Pot Limit Omaha, you can get yourself a free account at plomastermind.com. It's a PLO training website run by Jay Nandez and Luke, who employs Luke Botter. It is run by Jay Nandez. He's a great Swiss poker player, poker professional, wins very big amounts of money. He's a cool dude. He's really smart and he knows his stuff. And he made a website that is very comprehensive and will teach you everything you know to learn how to play PLO like a professional. And you can get a free account there. And you can do so by clicking on the link in the description. I think it's PLO Mastermind / Amanda Bonanza. But it's in the description box. Check that out. Sign up for a free account just to have it. You have nothing to lose. And if you like it, you can get the more content and get thorough into it. You get into it, you can get more thorough. So go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go get some water in the bathroom, and we'll be right back.
Cool. I will be right back as well.
Thank you for waiting. I am back, and normally I would just, you know what? I will post the big blind. I will post the dead blind, even though we're short stacked. We did step away from the table, and it's the polite thing to do. Plus, we get to be in the hand. Oh, I should put my mic back on. And that's not great. But we are going to defend it because we get the discount, because we have a pair, and we have a suit. Good enough to defend in that position. And that was great for us. So that's good. No, it's not that great. We don't have the any straight draw. We are in position, and we are going to bet it. Do a half bet here. Maybe it'll scare them off. They're going to raise us. That sucks. They obviously have a straight. We're going to fold it. Oh, boy, are we just getting hosed here. Oh, not good enough. Not good. I know it looks good, but it's not. The 3 sucks. The 3 really sucks really bad. Charlotte needs some munchies. Do you, Charlotte? Trying to make sense of the chat here. Charlotte's getting some munchies for her cat or something. Let's take a look. Let's get back in the game.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back with the hard hitting.
I just got back. Yeah,
hard hitting commentary and witty banter that I'm known for.
I made another bluff that just went into the fucking toilet right away.
God.
Yeah, just
you can't do that. We're
no, it was the right move. It was.
Oh, it was the right move.
You still got a bluff. Like it was the right move.
It's not like you just switch off bluffing if you're shallow
stack. You don't switch off bluffing. You bluff in the right moments, and that was the right moment to bluff. It's just they had it. So now we're under. Now normally I would just reload this, and I kind of want to.
What do you mean by reload it?
I'm just gonna fill up I'm gonna reload my chip stack, so I have a full stack of chips to play. So we're down 3 points. We're down 63 big blinds. But now we have 100 big blinds to play with again, so we'll reload. Because I still think I can win. I just don't think. I don't want to have to crawl back from the gutter, play short stack poker when there's no need. I'll just buy in for more. Like I can win more with more money in the pot. So we'll assume we already lost. So I'm just firing another bullet. I always load my gun with 3 bullets. This is bullet number 2. If you lose 3 bullets, call it a day. Go play the next day.
Okay. Is that a reference or is that something you just came up?
No, that's it's poker jargon. A bullet is like it's generally a it's a buy-in. A bullet is a buy-in. It's just called that. I don't know why it's called that because it's cool. Because poker jargon's just cool. So yeah, a bullet is a buy-in. So I reloaded. Since you're reloading, I guess maybe it's that you're reloading. So you're loading your stack. So it's a bullet. You're reloading. Like I don't know, maybe that's where it comes from. There's so many things because like there's the whole Old West legends of poker and the Wild Bill Hickok and all that stuff, and like there's so many things that these things come from. Just like the names of hands is hilarious. Like that's more of a Texas Hold'em thing. So you've only got 2 cards. Like there's all sorts of like cool names. Like a king 3 is King Crab, and if you win with King 3, you can do the crab dance. It's just a silly thing that poker players do. A Jack 5 suited is called the hand jive. And the Jack 5 offsuit is called the jive turkey. Jack 3 is the embarrassed janitor.
No, wait a second. This is not real.
These are real poker slang. Real Texas
How much poker slang is there?
A lot. It's a whole lot. It's a whole
it's not a slang. It's a whole language. It's
a lot of jargon. Yeah, it's awesome. It's great. That's one of the things I love about poker is all the jargon because it's all cool and it's all funny. Like poker jargon's fun. It's cool. I love it. I enjoy it. This is a good hand. We're playing it. We're raising it.
Oh, yeah, this is good. Pair of kings.
Yeah, pair of kings and a suited jack. They're just going to give it to us. That's
Jack.
acceptable. We're not shallow anymore. We can play. We really don't like that too. We really don't like that too in the small blind. And the no suits in the multi-way. Nah, we're going to let that go. I know it sounds crazy. You look at that, like a Texas Hold'em player would look at that hand and be like, of course I'm playing that. I've got a pair of queens and a king. It's like, but it's just not a good hand. It's just not a good hand at all. It's like queens aren't that, a pair of queens aren't that good. And if you don't have anything for them to go anywhere, like, and if you're out of position like that, I mean, what would we do here? We would have a pair of queens and that's all we would have. There's a straight there, like, that someone clearly has. We'd have just punted money.
What about aces and eights? Is there jargon around that?
I feel like there is. I think, is that the dead man's hand? I think that's I can't remember if it's the dead. Yeah, that's the dead man's hand. Because that's the legend has it that, was it Wild Bill Hickok got shot in the back of the head and killed while he was playing poker. And that's the hand he had, is ace 8. So that's the dead man's hand. Did you hear about that? What made you think of that, Rayna? Did you know about that already?
It just came to me actually, technically, Emily told me. Yeah,
there it is. It's
she's
in the chat.
in
there it is.
in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dead man's hand. And that's why. Because Wild Bill Hickok got his ass fucking shot. I mean, what a wild time. You're just fucking playing poker and someone just comes into a bar and shoots you in the back of the head. That's just like a normal thing that happens sometimes.
Yeah. They like just carry his body outside. And
yeah.
then, the guy they keep playing after, the guy at the piano, keeps playing.
We are so soft compared to our ancestors. We are so soft and coddled. Yeah. This is bad. Icky hands. Don't
Don't worry. It's gonna go back to Mad Max here very soon.
No, it really is. It is. It really is. Yeah. Yeah. Get a gun. Learn to farm. On a lighter note. All right. So our stack there in seat 3 is the pre-flop aggressor. They just win the hand, so they're going to take it down. Let's start card reading again. Get back into it.
This looks like a bad hand. But wait, double suits.
Yeah, it looks like... But they're low.
Like, well, the 5 and 2, I don't know about that.
I can't call it in the low jack. I'm going to let that go in the low jack. But that's right on the edge. And definitely I would play that in late position. I would play that on the button without question. But in the low jack, I can't justify it. But the thing about low cards with aces is you've got 2 to the Broadway and 3 to the wheel. Now there's a variation of Omaha called Omaha high-low, which the pot gets split between the best high hand and the lowest hand. And the lowest hand being ace 2, 3, 4, 5. And so this is a great high-low hand. This is like you put all your chips in with this hand in a high-low game. But we're not playing high-low. And we would have had a pair of jacks on a flush board, and we would have had to fold, and we would have lost more. And we're out of position, and there's a big fat bet with hearts in their hand. They're going to take down the pot with their heart flush. This is a good enough hand to call. And we don't like that 3 and that 6, but they're suited to the ace, and we're on the big blind. We can defend this hand, and we will. Because there is nuttiness here. Oh, not to a 3-bet. We can't. It got ruled out. When a limper bet 3 bets, they have aces. This hand is not good enough to call ace.
That's the rule.
It's not the rule. I'm assuming that, but like,
well,
the
like
kind of
based
player
on
that
the kind of play that
or
we've been
kings,
seeing.
they might have kings. I've seen people bet. They always have a pair. Like some of these players think like pairs. I've seen someone do it with queens before. It's like you're fucking out of your mind. I mean, it's okay to 3-bet. People should 3-bet more. These players don't 3-bet enough, but yeah, that's either 3 kings or aces. Aces. I had the ace blocker, so they could have kings with the kings there. So it's like it's just as likely that they could have kings or aces. This player's not going to call. They don't have anything. But if I had 2 pair here, if I had 2-7, I would call. We're never going to know. We'll never know what they had. See, it looks good, right?
It looks good at first.
We see those double suits, and we're like, that looks good.
And then a pair, but it's low.
Yeah, it's garbage, and we're in the small blind.
Oh, yeah. Oh, bad.
Card gods are not with us today. Not with us at all.
Yeah, we are. You just have to. The key is to believe in the heart of the cards.
Athena, why have you forsaken me? Oh, goddess.
Did you not do your offering to the goddess?
I did not do my offering to the goddess.
You did not, or if you did, you did not do it in a manner that was pleasing unto her.
I thought of something very lewd to say that I didn't say, and I'm glad I didn't say it, and I'm not going to say it.
I was looking at your face, and I think
I was thinking it.
I knew you were thinking something that I really wanted to know, but
I'm going to play this hand. I like it
for a general
audience.
I
like this hand here. That hand.
Oh, okay, this is not too bad.
It's not too bad. It's good enough. It's good enough to bring in.
Good enough. I mean,
I don't like the third club, right? But I like the 7, 8, 9, and I like the suited king. So we got a 3-bet. It's not good enough to call a 3-bet. Not from a stack. Nope. Not multi-way. That's for sure. What sucks?
So that's only good with in heads up. Would you say?
Well, it's this isn't a good enough hand to call any 3-bet. It's just not good enough for a 3-bet. But it's good enough to bring in. But it's not good enough to call a 3-bet. So that sucks. But we got 3-bet. We had to let it go. But that's number one. That's the thing, is like it's been kind of the way this game's been going. Is like it's like we've been making the right. I feel like we've been making the right moves, but like we just keep getting out. We keep getting outclassed. Like I mean, I don't think we're getting bluffed off our hands. I don't think we're betting foolishly loose. I just think we're getting out hand class. Like every time we hit something, someone has something better. It's like that's number one. Yes, it is, Emily. Emily, are we going to work on the shirts? We need to have a shirts meeting. Keep sending all the emotes, everyone. Love that in the chat. Hey, don't be afraid to send us a super chat and tell us what you think with money. Be shy. Send us those super chats. Let us know what you think about poker.
And also, if anyone has questions, of course, they're free to ask them.
Of course. Yeah, let us know what you think. And Rayna, let me know if they ask.
I will most certainly do
Rayna's monitoring that chat. I can't really monitor the chat all that much. Oh, we got to bring in from seat 4 here. We got a 3-bet from seat 6. We haven't seen them 3-bet much, and they have a short stack, so we know they have a good hand. Yeah. I definitely put them on aces. They now have 3 aces. They're almost certainly going to bet pot. No, they're betting small, but they have 3 aces. Nope, they didn't. They 3-bet with this? What?
So they just...
That is a hand review, my friends. We're sitting at the next hand and we are looking at that. So they had... No, we gotta sit. We gotta fold that bad hand. They had seat 6, 3-bet with ace, jack, 9, 6 with a suited ace in early position. That's bonkers. Well, short stack. So this is what is known as a fish. They're thinking like a Texas Hold'em player. Overvalues hands. That's what they did. And who looked them up? It was they ultimately won with a full house. They did hit aces and what they had. That doesn't matter. Whatever. Doesn't matter, but they did hit a full house and I can't believe it. Like, oh no, they had 3 of a kind. They didn't have a full house, just the aces. But like, yeah, it's wild to me. Someone looked them up, and they had it was seat 4, and they had queen, jack, jack 9 suited to the queen, one single pure suit to the queen, which is a very good hand. But they shouldn't have called the river with the double aces there when they clearly had at least an ace. So I would have definitely put them on 8 ace. I was way wrong. So they overvalue hands. And so we're going to give them a fire for being aggressive, even though they really deserve a fish. But that means we can bluff catch them. So we're going to mark that too.
Okay. Gotcha.
So we're going to... Okay to bluff catch. That's what the fire lets me know. That's like aggressive. I mean, they're not like overly aggressive, but they will be aggressive with bad hands. So that means we can look them up. Future notes. This is believe the bet. Yeah, believe the bet. Yep, believe the bet size. This player over here, seat 3, has just been steadily just being rock solid, just like slowly building up their bankroll, which is what we're trying to do. We're just not hitting the cards. So as it is, we are down. We are down today, and we do not like being down. I do not like being down. I hate being down. Hate losing. Hate getting shitty cards. Hate losing. Hate that when my hands hit, someone has better cards. Hate all of it. Which goddess should we be praying to for poker? Who would be the poker god? Loki? Loki? Bacchus, maybe?
It depends on your...
Dionysus?
Which mythology you're subscribing to.
I accept any of the pantheons. Yeah. They're more fun. They're more fun than Yahweh. Yahweh sucks. Jesus sucks. Allah sucks. At least the pantheon gods are fun.
They definitely know how to party.
Yeah. Yeah. Jehovah doesn't know how to party. Jesus doesn't know how to fucking party.
But Dionysus...
Allah definitely doesn't know how to party.
They know how to throw a party.
Who?
Dionysius.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would party with Dionysus for sure. Let's get a free roll here. Let's do it. I would have called a bet. Oh, it's not great. Check that. We've got a hand here. Not anymore. Yeah, we're probably good. We'll bet it. See if they look us up with our 10. Probably not. They'll probably just let us have it. But our 10's good. Oh. Someone give me some toilet paper because these hands are butt.
Is that a poker term?
No.
It's an Amanda term.
Yeah. It's actually a Tribe Called Quest lyric. Except it wasn't for poker hands. It's like I remember it was the one that died. I forgot his name now. It was like Q-Tip's the one everyone knows, but it was the other guy. Why can't I remember his name? Who is the other rapper in Tribe Called Quest?
I don't even know who that is.
It's a rap band from the early 90s. They were awesome. They're really good. Check them out. They're awesome. Early hip hop.
Hmm.
Um,
What about this
does
hand?
anyone in the chat know? It's killing me. I'm thinking about this. It's distracting me from reading, from card reading. No. All right, seat 5 brought it in. They're a fish, so they have a solid hand. They have value. Oh, they check twice. And they have, what do they bring in with? I'm gonna check it. King Jack Jack 5. They overvalue pairs. They're gone. They gave up. Emily, that was actually Black Sheep, a contemporary of Tribe Called Quest. You can get with this, or you can get with that.
With that.
You could get with this, or you could get with that. That was
Yeah.
Black Sheep. They were contemporaries. They were another really cool one. I love that band. I don't know if they aged very well. They were super sexist and misogynistic, but like they were funny and they were good rappers. Kind of, sort of. Like I liked them at the time. Fife Dog, that's it. Fife Dog. It was Fife Dog. Thank you. Thank you very much. But yeah, it was a Fife Dog lyric. I don't remember I remember the first part was because it was clever and they were clever lyricists, but it was go get yourself some toilet paper because your lyrics are butt.
That is poetry.
We're gonna bring that in. We're gonna 3-bet that to that weak
That's
ass fucking
great.
raise.
That's a great hand. Or is it?
It's a good hand. Yeah, that's a very good hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good solid hand. And that's very good. That's a good flop for this hand. So we're gonna carry on. We're gonna bet this out of position, even though we did 3-bet. Yeah, we're gonna bet well. We like this. They're gonna call us. They're gonna look us up. We're still gonna keep going with it. I think we can get away with a triple barrel here. No, we cannot get away with a triple barrel. They have a king. Fuck! We have to check it and fold it. God damn it. They have it. They're gonna bet. Yeah. Motherfuck. Motherfuck. God damn it. We are just missing hard. We probably should have checked that back. We probably shouldn't have bet aggressively out of position with a bluff.
But you
We did.
took the chance.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think I'm going to throw a third bullet at this game with the way our cards are running out.
That was our second bullet.
Yeah, it was like a bullet and a half, but like, yeah, I fired 2 bullets today. Here again, once again, we're just not hitting. We're just not hitting. Now I should be bluffing this because it's a paired board. And so I'm going to bluff. No, I'm not. I have to fold because I don't have to fold. I do have a pair. We do have a backdoor. No, I can't justify that with a pair of 9s. I don't have. Yeah, we don't have the straight draw. Backdoor flush draw is not even to the ace. It's just nothing. It's just missed our range so hard. Yeah, boo, boo, boo. Either of them could easily have a full house or a straight. We would have had a pair of 9s and a pair of 5s. Been terrible, terrible. Glad we didn't bluff. Just getting looked up, just getting fucking beat. I don't even regret bluffing like that. I just regret the run out.
Yep.
I shouldn't have bluffed on the turn. I should have checked it back and folded to their bet that they would have made. But they let us own ourselves, and they were right to do it. So that was a mistake, was betting that turn. Bluffing that turn out of position. It was a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. Felt good bluffing the flop. Probably should have bluffed small, though. It was a 3-bet. I had to want to get money in the pot, so I wanted to hit it. But what you gonna do? Learn from your mistakes and not do it again. Hope you hit cards eventually, ever. I mean, have we even won a pot? Like, I mean, we got some, like, no, we've got some, like,
where
people folded to us.
Yeah,
like, I don't think we've won, like, an actual good pot.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying.
I'm not sure we won a single showdown. I don't think we've actually won a pot past the
I don't think so.
Past the flop. Yeah, I think we've won a couple flop. Like, I think we had like one or two like C-bet takedowns, but like, no. The 5 sucks. The 5 sucks.
Oh, the 5. That's what ruins it.
Yep, the 5 ruins it. It's too disconnected. The queen is not a high enough suit. 10s aren't a good enough pair in early position.
But even worse.
Yeah, we can call one big blind there. And we almost have a straight, so we got to play that. We got to call once. We'll see. Got to call twice. And we hit our straight, but the clubs suck. Well, the clubs came. They're going to bet. Do we call? They triple barreled us. And we have it to the 7. So we have a 10. I think they have a straight. But they could easily have a flush. I'm going to call just because we've been this is the... Okay, good.
Yep.
Good. They have been pushing us around too. Okay, finally a fucking hand. Jesus, but I know. We're in the small blind, so that sucks shit. But that's a great hand. It's a 3-bet hand. Fuck, this is a Milan hand. No, maybe not. Not pre. Definitely a 3-bet hand.
No, not small blind.
We are in the small blind. No, in the small blinds where you want to bet more. Because you want to discourage people in later position. You want to get them to fold. You don't want to go multi-way in the small blind. You want to go heads up. So you bet more. You bet more and higher. There's a 3-bet. I have to call. I can't 4-bet this. I do block their ace, and they did bet stupid, so maybe I can 4-bet this. In fact, I am going to 4-bet this because I don't want seat 5 to call. So I'm going to 4-bet, but I'm not going to 4-bet like pot. I'm going to 4-bet like a little less than pot. So I want them to, I don't want them to go all in. I don't want them to call. And if they're cold calling 4-bets, they're fucking stupid. Yeah, that's exactly. They're gonna call. They fucking 5-bet. They have aces. Shit. God damn it. Do I call the 5-bet? They almost certainly have aces. They almost certainly have aces.
But okay, well then play. Then we have to.
No,
fold,
I mean,
right?
No, we're at the end of our show. I'm frustrated, and this is a great hand, and it has a chance to crack aces.
Yeah,
so that's
what I was.
I'm going all in, and we're gonna see it. They had nothing.
They had nothing. Bullshit. See, I said call. At least I said call.
They hit their fucking set of 2s.
Oh, God damn it. Don't
God
listen to me.
damn, was that dog shit. What a way to end. Yeah, the card gods are definitely not with us today. We're going to call that. Rayna, go ahead and turn your camera back on, darling.
All right.
We're going to the post game. Wait, we got to get there. I got to do that. End the screen share. There we go. Oh my goodness. Rayna, what a suitable ending to a shitty run. Like,
Oh,
and yeah, I maybe made a mistake on betting that turn, like on bluffing that turn there. That was a mistake, but that was such, you were so right. That was such the right call to that 5 bet, because that was a total bullshit bluff. They were totally full of shit. They had garbage. What did they do? They had their 1-2 in their hand, hit 2 2s to beat our fucking awesome ass
so
hand.
explain to me that part I don't understand.
What don't you understand?
The last part, how did they win in the end?
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you again, and I'm going to show you. So we're going to,
Okay.
well, can I bring up the hand? Yeah, I can bring up the hand history here. So can I bring up the table? Am I still in the table? Hang on, hang on, hang on. This is why you need to be the producer. You can have this all queued up and stuff. There it is. Hand history. Share that with you here. And so I will share my screen with you. Give me a second. Old lady with thing. There you go. You should see the hand history there. Do you see it, Rayna?
I do.
Okay, so what we have is ace, king, king, jack with a pure suited ace. That's a very, very good hand. They were they were bluffing us all the way because they had 2 2 9 queen, and they hit their 2. So they have 3 2s. We didn't hit anything.
Oh.
We just had our pair of kings. It was a bad run out. It was a terrible run out on a great hand, and we still had them beat all the way to the river. Oh no, because they had a pair of queens there, but our kings beat a pair of queens, and so we had them just murdered. We had just them all the way. They had, the only way was if they could have either hit a 2 or a 9, and they hit a 2 on the river, which does happen. But this is queen 9 2 2 with a pure suit to the 9 is a terrible hand. That's a terrible hand. You don't 5 bet all in that hand. You don't 5 bet it and then call it all in. Like, it was I went all in. And they went all in with that hand. That's insane bad poker. That's terrible poker. But sometimes, it is poker, and they hit their 2, and that was it. That was it. That was the end of our day and the end of our show. So, like, I mean, I don't regret that. I did that exactly right. That, I think I made a good call. It was a tough call to make, and I don't regret doing it. I would do that. That's the kind of thing where it's like, this is what's called, so we lost today, but that's the right play. You still have to make that play every time, because the amount of time, if that scenario came up 10 times, we would win 8 out of those 10 times. Like, that's how much better our hand was
Right,
than theirs.
right.
And so we got the bad beat. That's okay. That's number wang. But, like, what do you do? What do you do? Like, that's just, you can't do anything with that. It's just, that's it. And so I don't regret it. It sucks that it worked out that way, but, like, so when you care about that stuff, when you're like, oh fuck, I lost, that's a bad beat, oh it sucks, like, of course you feel that way, but, like, I don't ultimately care about that. I don't felt like I played bad in that game. It's just I had bad cards, bad runouts, bad beats. That's how you lose at poker when you play well, which happens. It's part of poker.
Right.
So that's
Yep.
when you care about that, That's called being results oriented. And that's not something you're supposed to do as a professional. You're not supposed to be results oriented. You're supposed to make the right play. And that was clearly the right play. So like we didn't make the wrong play, we just got beat because you get beat sometimes with a worse hand. Sometimes people catch a 2. It's just
Right,
the
because
way it
it's
goes.
how you win at poker and how you are a professional poker player is by um consistently making the right calls,
That is exactly well the right decision. So like not
right
necessarily
decision.
because but
Now,
yes,
not call,
calls
because call has
calls
a
among them, yes.
call in a general, but
But
yeah,
yes, how
decisions.
you win at poker is by
The right
consistently
play
making
is
the
the
right
word used, so
decisions.
right, the
Yes,
right
by
play
right
consistently,
by
and
getting
then
by playing
probabilities will
using the pot
take care of
odds
it.
and reading your opponents and making good reads and making good value judgments and all of that stuff. It's a lot of there's a lot of moving parts in poker, and the pros consistently they think through every action at every street. They're always thinking about what the other player has, what they're doing, how they bet the way they did, why they do that, what kind of player type they are, what does that bet mean, what does it do, what cards do I have that are blocking the cards? What cards do I have that are unblocking their cards? Will they call? Will they call with a worse hand and will they fold a better hand? Those are all the things that poker players are thinking every street. I'm not that good. I lose my concentration. I can't do that every street. I get wrapped up. It moves too fast. I'm working on it. I'm pretty good, which
You're
is why
pretty
it's
good. I mean,
mediocre
I can
poker.
barely keep up with you. So, and if you're saying that you're like
I'm
not
not a
doing all,
pro. Not
it
yet.
sounds like you're doing all the things. So you're doing a
I'm
good.
trying to, but I don't
Okay.
consistently do them. And
Yeah.
that's the difference between me and a pro. I'm just not a pro yet. I'm just not. And that's okay. I'm learning and I'll get there. But like that's why that's why it's named that's why it's called mediocre poker. Because I'm good. I'm a semi-pro. Like I'm good, but I'm not great. And that's how it goes. And I'm okay with that. And here's the thing is like I don't have to be the best player. I don't need to beat Phil Ivey or Phil Hellmuth or like Jungle
Right.
Man or Phil Ivey or like
What's Jonathan
Phil
Little?
Galfond.
Is that what's his
Jonathan
name?
Little, yeah, I'm not. I don't need to beat Jonathan Little to be validated. Like it's like I
Or
just
to
need to
make
win.
money for that,
I just need to
matter.
make money. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
just
I
need to
mean,
win.
yeah, you just don't,
Yeah,
there's not many Jonathan Littles in the world that you have to
there's
play
a lot more
against.
poker pros than you might think. They
Really?
exist and they're out there. Yeah, and they're
Well,
everywhere.
oh,
Like
well,
yeah,
that's good to know, actually.
but they're easy to spot because they play really well. And if you know how good poker is supposed to look, you can spot them. And even if you're at a table with a pro, like that doesn't mean you should leave the table necessarily. That just means you should probably avoid hands with them. And what I've noticed is in games, that when I, I think I'm a good player. I think I'm a better than average player. And so when I find myself at tables with another player that I recognize to be a good player, I notice that they also recognize that I'm a good player. And you just kind of organically tend to avoid pots with each other and take turns taking the money from the rest of the players that aren't good is kind of how it goes. And that's just and because it makes sense. Like it's like okay, like because if you notice someone's a good player and they bet and you have like anything but a premium hand, well, it's just why would I want to go against a pro? Why would I want to go against a good player with a marginal hand? I'll just throw it out and wait for a better hand. When it's like, but I can go against bad players with marginal hands. I'm happy to outplay them in post, but I'm not going to outplay a good player in post. Like I'm going to match them maybe. Like they could easily outplay me. So like why would I do that? But I'm not going to fold a premium hand. Like I'm not going to fold like double suited aces like to a pro. I'll play I would play if I was dealt double suited aces. I would play Jungle Man with him. Like I would go up against Phil Galfond. I would do it. Like but I would be more careful with what I played, and they do that as well. They recognize that's the thing about a professional player, a good player, even a good player. You don't have to say pro. a good player recognizes good play and makes a note of it, a mental note or a note on the screen, and says, okay, yeah. And then you just avoid hands with each other. And then you take, like I said, you just take turns taking everyone else's money. It's generally how it goes.
I remember what you said about that if you don't know who the fish is, it's you.
Yeah.
So
honestly,
you
I
can
don't know what
if you can't recognize the like who
my
is,
rule's
then
one orbit. If you can't spot the fish in one orbit,
one
like
orbit.
you're the fish. Like, but like I think maybe I don't know what the official saying is. Maybe it's 3 orbits or something. But I think it's one. I think if especially in like a 9-handed table, it's like if you go around the table and you haven't picked out the fish, like by the time it goes around once, it's like you're the worst player at the table, and then you definitely should leave. If you can't spot the worst player and it goes around, like you just get up and go, come back another day. Like honestly, find a new table, get out. There's no percentage in like because like a lot of players, and I've done it myself, where you're like, hey, I could beat these guys. I want to go up against this better player because it'll sharpen my skills. Like I want to test my metal, but like there's no reason to do that. Like it's like,
you think
why
that's
would I
like the
test my
emotional,
metal?
the emotional
It's
part, the
ego.
excitement. Yeah.
No, it's ego. It's ego. It's like I want to outplay this player I recognize is good, so I'm gonna get into battle with them. I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but if your goal is to win pots and win money, then just avoid them. Like it's like that's it's that easy. And it's stuff like that. It's little stuff like that that like is the difference between a good player and a great player, you know. And I'm not a great player yet. I'm not a professional. Like, and I'm aware of that. I want to be. I would like to be. Like, I think I've got what it takes. I think I can beat that game, and I think I could have beat that game if I had better rundowns. And I maybe made. I don't know from what I saw. I'll go review it later. But like, I feel like I only made like maybe 2 or 3 agreed mistakes, and they weren't even that egregious. It was just and no one's going to play perfect poker. Like no one.
Oh, it's
Like and
impossible.
everyone makes mistakes, even the pros. Like so it's like so I don't feel like I did badly. I just feel like we didn't get cards.
I
We
mean,
had
aces gets
cracked.
What was it, like 64, what, 7% of the, or no,
Oh, that
67%
was in
of the time?
Texas Hold'em. That was
Yeah, no,
supposed to be a bit like
right. I
that.
mean, it's the concept though, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely
So
does
in
not apply
Texas
to
Hold'em,
PLO.
yeah, in Texas Hold'em pre-flop, your chance to win is about 67%. Maybe it's a little higher. I don't know. I don't remember what it is, but that's your equity. And so a lot of people, when they get dealt aces in Texas Hold'em, they say like, "Oh, I've got the aces, I'm gonna win," and they not only do they expect to win the pot, which is reasonable, you should expect to win the pot when you get dealt aces, but they assume that they're entitled to the pot, that they're definitely going to win, and so when they lose and they get their aces cracked, they can't fold, they'll never fold them, and they're like get mad if they get their aces cracked, and it's just like, well, if you're only expected to win, if your percentage to win is 67%, that means your percentage to lose is 33%. So you're going to lose with your aces 1/3 of the time. That's how that works.
And that applies to
And
anyone. It doesn't matter
right,
who it
it's
is.
everyone. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, yeah, you're going to lose.
Jungle Man or whatever.
Jungle Man will get his aces cracked in 33%, 1/3 of the time. That is how it works. And so that's just kind of how it goes. And so yeah, that's poker. That's number wing. And with that, I think we can call it.
All right.
Rayna, it's always lovely.
Yes.
Everyone, hey, I love you. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching some mediocre poker. Emily, let's do a little chat if you got a minute. And we can talk about our brand new merch ideas that we had during that show. Do you remember them, Rayna?
It was
I remember
mediocre,
one of them.
the ace shirt.
It's all about that
the aces.
All about that ace.
All about the aces. Mediocre
all
poker.
About that ace. There was enough. I think the other one was just like that's number one, but I don't think we could use that's number one.
Isn't that a copyright type sort of thing?
Yeah, it is. It's almost simply a copyright, but it is British, so it might not be.
But it might take them a while to find us. Oh wait, they might see it. Brits watch our show.
I mean,
well, maybe.
I don't know. I don't want to get the transverse in any trouble, so we should probably avoid any copyright issues. But like, I mean, if we, I mean, and like, that's number weighing is literally stolen from another place, so it's like,
okay. Well, then,
it's
I
like,
mean,
it's a little cringy, but I kind of love it because it kind of did become a catchphrase. In any case, Emily, we got to make the "It's All About That Ace" shirt, so we will do that. We'll get it out there, and I love you. We'll see you next week. Come back in a hour for Border Trans, where we
yes,
continue in
don't
the
want to miss the exciting adventure.
Nintendo. Don't miss Border Trans in an hour on the Transverse Network on YouTube. Thank you, everybody, and I'll
All
see
right.
you in an hour.
Bye.